Hi guys, it's 9:30 p.m. right now and I got the urge to make some apple fritters, and so I'm gonna quadruple my recipe. So I'm actually using, I think it was about 8 apples. Got a whole bunch of apples here. They look a little brown right now because I just finished cutting them up a little while ago, and but that's okay, they're fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and heat up a pan over here with about 4 tablespoons of butter, maybe a little more than 4 tablespoons since I have so many apples. About 5 tablespoons of butter. I'm gonna go ahead and get that melted in there. That butter's melted. I'm gonna go ahead and add all of my apples to the pan. Oh, this is the biggest pan I have, so I'm gonna go ahead and get all these apples out. And to this, we're going to go ahead and add 2 teaspoons of salt. So I'm just going to measure with my eyes. That's about 2 teaspoons of salt. Get this mixed up. We're going to reduce that down a little bit. We're going to get them softened for about 5 minutes because I'm using 4 batches. Okay, so those apples have been cooking. I've actually cooked them about 7-8 minutes. It's only because I have so many apples and they're all shoved in this pan. So they've cooked down pretty good. And what I'm gonna do is I'm now gonna go ahead and add 4 tablespoons of brown sugar. And I'm gonna put the recipe for, I'll put the recipe for just 1 batch on my YouTube. So with that 4 tablespoons, I'm gonna put, it's supposed to be maple syrup. I don't have any, so I'm going to put regular syrup. We're going to put about 4 tablespoons of regular syrup in there. And then I'm going to add about 2 or 3 teaspoons of cinnamon. I'm not measuring, I just measure with my heart, whatever. That looks good. So we'll get all that mixed up and we're going to cook this down for about another 3 minutes on low. Okay, those are looking great. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the heat. I'm going to remove these apples from the pan and go ahead and put it in this bowl here and set it aside to cool down while I make my dough. Okay, I've got my apples set to the side and I just realized something. I'm making 4 batches of apple fritters and I don't have a bowl big enough to put everything in. So, smart of me. I'm going to go ahead and use 2 bowls to break them down so that it'll have 2 batches here and 2 batches here. But I wanted to show you this cute little egg thing that I have. It holds your eggs, and so it holds it holds 10 eggs here and 10 eggs here, and then another 10 eggs up here. Isn't that cool? Anyways, just wanted to show you that. So I'm gonna go ahead and put 4 eggs in each bowl because it's gonna take a total of 8 eggs for the 4 batches. And again, a reminder, I will put the recipe for just 1 batch in the details. Okay, and we're also going to add 2/3 cup of regular whole milk. This is whole milk. It's organic. I don't know why they buy organic because everything else we buy is crap. But anyways, 2/3 cup of whole milk. I think my 2/3 is on the other side. Yep, there it is. 2/3 cup of whole milk. Pour that in my bowl. And then we're gonna need 2/3 cup of buttermilk. Now, if you don't have buttermilk, that's okay. You can use whole milk and then add some vinegar or lemon juice in it. So I actually have 1 1/3 cup of milk in here, and I have 1 1/4 tablespoons of vinegar. 1 3/4, no, sorry, scratch that. 1 3/4 cups of vinegar, something like that. That didn't make sense. 1 1/3 tablespoons of vinegar in this. It's okay if the ratio is not that precise. So you see how chunky that is? That looks pretty disgusting. Let me actually mix this up. That looks gross. Hang on a second. Okay, stirred that up a little bit. So let's start this all over again. 2/3 cup of buttermilk. This that's left over is 2/3 cup. So I'm gonna put 2/3 cup in this one and 2/3 cup in this one. And then I'm gonna add 2 teaspoons of vanilla. I'm just measuring with my heart. My heart is big. So that's about a little bit over 2 teaspoons. And a little bit over 2 teaspoons here. Mix that up together and I'm gonna whisk. Okay, so I've made this recipe one time before and it came out really good. It was super tasty and everything. My only disappointment was that I wanted it to be crunchier. So I thought, well, maybe if I put some cornstarch in it and take out some of the flour and put some cornstarch instead, maybe it'll come out better. So we're gonna try that today. Never been attempted by me before. So the recipe typically calls for one batch, it calls for 1.5 cups of flour. But and so since I'm making a double recipe, I'm putting 3 cups of flour, but I took out 1/2 cup of flour and I'm putting 1/2 cup of cornstarch. I know this seems confusing, but I'm gonna detail it again in the at the end of the video in the details in the comments, okay? So bear with me a second. I'm gonna go ahead and put the cornstarch in, and then I have the rest of my measurements already pre-measured. Okay. So I have the cornstarch here, and then I also already pre-measured all of my other ingredients, which is salt, nutmeg, cinnamon, baking powder, and I'm missing some sugar also. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that together with the dry ingredients and we'll mix this up, stir it up a little bit to get those all incorporated with the dry ingredients. And then, that looks good. And then we're gonna go ahead and add these to our wet ingredients here. So add those to the wet ingredients and we're just gonna gently stir those to get them combined. And I should show you, when we're stirring this, we're actually gonna fold it over like this, kind of just scoop, fold, and give that flour some time to absorb all of the wet ingredients. So just go ahead and continue scooping until you don't see any more dry flour. Okay, so this has been mixed really well and I don't have any more bits of dry flour. So now I'm gonna go ahead and add approximately 1/2 of my apples. I'm just gonna eyeball it, not really concerned if it's too little or too much. Add 1/2 there and I'll add 1/2 to the other one, just to make sure it looks even. And then we'll fold those in together gently again. Just fold those in. And these are just about ready to fry up. I have my oil preheating right now. I had a little bit of peanut oil left over, so I'm gonna use, I had about 1.5 cups of peanut oil and then I have vegetable oil. So I'm getting that warm, very hot and ready for this mixture, and then we'll go ahead and add that and see how it's coming out. Okay, ideally I'd like to have some maple syrup, but we don't have any. I'm gonna make a glaze to put on top of the donuts. So I'm gonna go ahead and add some vanilla. It's a lot. Some maple syrup, or Mrs. Butterwitz. Some buttermilk that I made myself with some milk and some vinegar because I don't have buttermilk. And then a little bit of regular milk. Again, the measurements will be in the caption or details, whatever. And then we're just gonna go ahead and mixy with the whisk. And then afterwards, we'll just go ahead and put that aside after our fritters have cooled down a little bit, we'll dip this. Okay, there's a couple things that I think are really important when you're frying apple fritters. Parchment paper, and I have this cut up into about a 6 by 6 square. Some tongs, medium, and then one of these are a game changer for picking up stuff from the oil. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with the donuts or the fritters. I'm actually going to put a tiny bit of oil on this and rub it on, just like that. Then I'm going to get a scoop of this fritter dough, just like that, and kind of spread it on here. I know you're probably thinking, what is she doing? So spread it on, and then you're going to put it in the oil directly with that paper. We'll wait a few seconds, and then you'll lift this right off. And you can reuse this parchment paper as well. And the reason you're going to do that is so that you can avoid a fritter that looks like this, kind of fat. Now these are still perfectly fine, but they will take longer to cook. And each of these fritters you're going to cook for 3 to 5 minutes. And it's going to look like after a minute, it's going to look like it's already done. It's not done. You need to cook it completely through, or else the dough inside will be raw. So 3 to 5 minutes on each side. You can try one at 3 minutes on each side and see how that comes out for you. And if that's working out, then go ahead and continue to do so. So I'm going to go ahead. Okay, here we go. These are coming out pretty good. I cooked it about 2.5 minutes on each side because we taste tested one of the thinner ones at 3 minutes, and it was plenty of time. It was actually a little bit charred. So if you're gonna do them thinner like this one, like the regular apple fritters, then I would say about 2.5 minutes each side, and that'll be absolutely perfect. Lord Almighty, that took forever. I'm never making 4 batches again. Maybe 2, not 4. I have a lot of apple fritters. My sister ate 3. I'm not gonna say which sister, but I have a sister that ate 3 of them. So I'm now gonna go ahead and dip it. I've got some crumbs already in there. And I'm only gonna do one side, because I don't even think I have enough, and I'm just too tired to make more. So I know that they do look kind of burned, but they're not burned. Okay, actually a couple of them I did overcook them. I burned them a little, but they're still gonna be good. So I'm just gonna go ahead and continue with all of these, and there is the finished result. Hopefully you can see it. Okay, thank you, bye.